friend. You know those moments when you know you're supposed to take a leap of faith into the unknown, and right before you take that leap is when all of your fears and doubts and insecurities all rear their ugly heads. It takes everything you have to push through that fear and doubt and actually take the leap. Well, I'm taking that leap right now, and I'd like to invite you along for the ride. You, my friend, were made for more. More than the managing of schedules, keeping up with kiddos, and holding down the home front. Hi, I'm Christine, a military spouse of over 10 years, mom of littles, and self-professed coffee connoisseur. I believe you have something valuable to offer, and when you pursue the things that light your heart on fire, you trade frustration for fulfillment and isolation for a life of impact. Welcome to the MilSpouse Mastermind Show. We'll help you navigate life as a military spouse, prioritize what matters most, and show you that you don't have to wait for tomorrow to chase your dreams. It's time to discover who you are meant to be, because together we can change the world. You see, there's this dream that's been on my heart for years, but I didn't know exactly how all the pieces fit together until now. And now that I know, I actually have to take the leap, because I believe that you, me, all of us have something to offer the world. We were made with and for a purpose. And when we choose to play small and not step into what we've been called to do, everyone misses out. And what's worse, we feel a sense of lack in our lives. But when we take a leap of faith, when we step into our calling, we make a difference. And ultimately, we can change the world. Gary Hagen, founder of International Justice Mission, once wrote, "God has a plan to bring justice to the world, and his plan is us." Let that statement sit with you for a moment. God's plan is us, not somebody that's achieved some big award or done crazy things. His plan is us. So here I am, and I want to give you a little background into the founding of MilSpouse Mastermind. My dream began almost 9 years ago when God placed a burden on my heart for military spouses. And so I asked, well, what does this mean? What does that look like? How do I do that? I'm ready. And the only answer I got in return was, you're not ready. Well, so much for knowing what I'm supposed to do with my life. So I've spent the last 9 years searching for clarity. And as a military spouse, I've moved a lot. I've spent a lot of time tweaking and retweaking and redesigning my resume. I've spent a lot of time applying for jobs, trying to find that perfect work-life balance that works for our unpredictable military lifestyle. I've struggled with how to find my identity outside of what I do and how to show up and intentionally live a life that I love regardless of our circumstances, regardless of where we're stationed or how long we'll actually stay there. I've worked for businesses, I've run my own business, I've been an independent contractor, I've become a mom ×3 in just over 4 years. I've worked full-time, I've worked part-time, I've been a stay-at-home mom, and I've had more addresses than I can remember. And in that time, I began a journey to really find myself again. Who am I outside of just being a wife and a mom? How can I use my skills, my passions, and my experiences to help others in a way that brings joy and less overwhelm? So, not quite 2 years ago, it was time for me to take the next step on my journey to figuring out who I am and what I'm supposed to do. I had just given birth to my third child in just under 4 years. My husband had started an intense new position at work. I had started a part-time job, so I really didn't have any extra free time, but I knew that there was something on my heart and that I needed to take the next step. And so I started a blog because I realized that I would get clarity more quickly through taking messy action. And so I started blogging at marketingmilspouse.com. I wasn't clear exactly what I wanted to say or write about. I just knew this was the next step I needed to take. And it'd be a great story if my blog took off overnight and was an instant success. That's not what happened. I was still stuck with very little time to devote to the blog. And really, I think only a few friends and family members actually read it. But it was the next step in the right direction. It helped me start honing my skills and figuring out exactly what I wanted to say, who I wanted to serve. And through that, I realized, I'm on this journey to figuring out who I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to do, how I want to show up in the world. And I'm not alone in my struggles with identity and purpose and joy and not being overwhelmed with life. And so I started having this dream, a dream to create a space of encouragement, inspiration, and belonging, a space for military spouses to dream, explore, and discover how to thrive and how to find greater purpose, joy, and impact in their everyday lives. While a blog is nice, we all live busy lives. You probably have young kids at home, and at least pre-COVID, you had lots of commitments. You probably didn't have a lot of time to devote to sitting down at your computer and reading through a blog post. It just doesn't happen a lot. And I realized what you need are bite-sized pieces of information that you can listen to while you're folding laundry or making dinner or driving in the car. You need support and encouragement, but you need it in a way that doesn't take away from your everyday life. And what's more than that, more than just hearing from me, whether it be in a blog or through your podcast, you need a community. And so this is the birth of that dream. Introducing the MilSpouse Mastermind Show. Life, mindset, and business mentorship for military spouses. This is a podcast and community created specifically to help military spouses uncover their dreams and pursue lives of greater joy, purpose, and impact. Here, you'll find life, mindset, and business mentorship to help you get clarity on who you are meant to be, what you are meant to do, and how to do it in a way that brings life to yourself and those around you. I wanted to speak specifically to this intersection of life, mindset, and business because I think so often these things get compartmentalized. There are resources out there if you just want to learn about navigating the military lifestyle. And there are resources out there if you want to learn how to work from home or start a business. And there's plenty of personal development podcasts out there. But I couldn't find anything that focused specifically on how this all comes together and relates to being a military spouse. There are unique challenges that come to trying to start a business as a military spouse or trying to work from home as a military spouse or trying to learn how to thrive and embrace the life that we've been given and ultimately find out who we are supposed to be and what we are supposed to do. And so I wanted to change that. It's time to take what I have already learned and what I'm currently learning in my journey and share that with you. So through honest conversations and insightful interviews, if I can get a reliable internet connection, we're going to help you embrace this crazy adventure of military life, get clarity on what fuels and fills you, and give you practical tools and strategies to build a life you love, a life of purpose, joy, and impact right here, right now, regardless of your circumstances. I think so often as military spouses, it's easier to view the grass is greener on the other side. We wait until my spouse gets out of the military, or until my kids are at this point in life, or until we get to this duty station. We put off showing up as who we are supposed to be and how we are meant to show up because we're waiting for this perfect time. But you don't have to wait for tomorrow to chase your dreams. What you do today matters, and we're here to help you do it. This is about becoming, belonging, and contributing to the world around us right now. I've seen too many spouses sacrifice their dreams and passions and lose sight of who they are and what they have to offer. It's time to shift this narrative. My promise to you is that I will always do my best to make sure that every episode of the MilSpouse Mastermind Show is worth your time and help you move from a place of frustration to a place of fulfillment. To help you trade those feelings of isolation for community, connection, a new identity, and a life of impact. And I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't scared about this adventure. It's way outside my comfort zone. But I'm taking this leap of faith and believing that if this message is in my heart, it's because you or someone you know needs it. Here's what I know to be true. When we play small, the entire world misses out. Our gifts atrophy. We feel that sense of lack in our lives. But if we are going to step into what we are called to do, we have to break free from what is keeping us stuck in self-doubt and fear. We have to fight for what we know to be true. We have to believe that there is something inside of us and that we matter and that our story matters and that it is going to help someone thrive. We are better together. And together, we can change the world. Yes, this will involve sacrifice and pain and frustration to move past that fear, but there is also great opportunity waiting on the other side. And I pray that you will join me in this venture. So I want to ask 3 things of you before we go. Number 1. It would mean the world to me if you would head over to iTunes, subscribe, and leave a review. Share what you love about this podcast and what you want to hear from us in the future. Number 2, I believe that there is someone you know that would benefit from this podcast. Would you reach out to that person and let them know about it? You can talk to them about it, you can share it to your stories, but help us get the word out so that we can have an impact on the lives of more spouses. And number 3, if you haven't already done so, head over to the MilSpouse Mastermind community on Facebook. It's here that we can encourage, equip, and support each other on our journey to live lives of purpose, joy, and impact. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My prayer is that you leave feeling seen, known, and inspired to take the next step in your journey. It's time to reclaim your life and dreams, discover who you were meant to be, and live a life of impact. Because together, friend, we can change the world. Hey friend, before you go, the MilSpouse Mastermind community is here to help you thrive as a military spouse. Figure out what lights your heart on fire and equip you to create a life of impact. You can have an incredible impact simply by heading over to iTunes to subscribe and leave a review. And if today's episode was meaningful to you, I know it will be for others too. Spread the word by taking a screenshot of this episode and share it to your stories so we can continue to reach more people, change more lives, and shift the way that military spouses look at life. Because we are better together, and together we can change the world. Let's do it. Theme song written, performed, and produced by Tony Goffretti and recorded by Brad Piper.